Hello everyone, my name is Carissa Gilmore. I'm a recovery support technician and have my AA degree in psychology. This presentation is for my addiction family counseling class for fall semester 2024. I'm currently in the bachelor's program to obtain my degree in human services with a concentration in addiction studies. This presentation is going to be on the show Pretty Little Liars, specifically Spencer Hastings and the Hastings family. That's Spencer. This is Spencer's problem. She started using drugs to cope from things like stress from her family, school, and attending colleges. She also is going through grief from her friend going missing and presumably dead, and suffers a lot of different traumas from being tortured and stalked throughout the show. The drug problem that she has specifically is with amphetamines and specifically Adderall. She first starts taking it to help her stay up longer in order to complete homework assignments and do research as to who's stalking her. And she gets it from a friend in her debate class, but then she tries to impersonate her mom to talk to a doctor in order to get more Adderall. Some of the family roles that can be seen within this family is the father being the dependent. The dependent is normally a charming person at first, and then their anger starts to show. The father has lied to the family. The father has cheated on the mom. The father has another sibling son with another family friend, and this has caused a lot of problems within the family and makes the daughters not trust him and makes the relationship between the mom and him strained. They end up getting divorced later in the series. The family hero could be seen as Melissa, which is this girl right here, the older sister. She's seen as the way to go for Spencer. She goes to college, she gets married, she's supposed to have a baby, so a lot of pressure is on her to follow in her sister's lead, especially with her parents putting that pressure on her. The scapegoat could be seen as Spencer because she gets in trouble, she seems crazy, she goes to rehab for drugs and mental health issues. She's always getting in trouble with the police. So she definitely could be seen as the scapegoat for her family. Some of the theories that were used, or the theory that I believe could be best used for Spencer, would be the self-medication theory. The process for this theory includes the client spending time in recovery, developing coping skills, obtaining a sense of community, and then finally discussing any emotional pain or trauma that contributed to the development of their addiction. This theory would work best for Spencer because she went through a lot of trauma that contributed to her drug use over the years, such as being stalked, followed, her and her friends were receiving anonymous text messages, she was being framed for things, so a lot of things were going on in her life that made her feel that she had to escape towards drugs. The next slide is assessments. Now, within this series, the Hastings family did not use any assessments that were talked about while trying to discuss Spencer's addiction. They did not have to use a drug detection technique because Spencer admits to using the pills when her family confronts her about it. I do, however, believe the family could benefit from the clinical family addiction assessment interview because it not only helps the addict, but it also helps the family get counseling as well. And I really believe that the family would benefit from a family counseling and counseling individually of each of their own, not just Spencer needing the help. The next is approaches that the family used in order to help Spencer get better. So the first thing they did was approach her, and they wanted to send her to rehab, but she asked to get clean on her own. She asked for one chance. The parents agreed. However, she did go back to using the drugs when she started to get some of the withdrawal symptoms. So with that being said, they sent her to a rehab center for 3 days. And when she came back from the rehab center, she then had to follow a program that was created by a drug and alcohol counselor, and this counselor lived outside their house in like an outhouse. And so he was the counselor is always around. They have a program that they follow. She was not allowed to have any technology or anything like that. So those were the approaches that this family chose. Although the family did use these two approaches, I feel that Spencer would have better benefited from using approaches like structural family counseling or the extended family systems counseling techniques. Both of these would have helped the family and the addict to create a more family type environment and to rebuild those bonds, which is what I feel Spencer really needed, was more connection and support. Interventions used. An intervention strategy that the Hastings family used is a form of motivational interviewing. When they brought in Dean, the temporary in-home drug counselor, Dean, he helped Spencer talk things out. He helped Spencer see positive in situations. He helped her talk through the non-positives, the more negatives, how to like better cope with the negative things. He also helped her set goals, long-term goals, short-term goals, goals that would help her in the long run. So motivational interviewing was definitely a part of the interventions used for Spencer. Next is the barriers. Some of the barriers I could see with this family is they're very resistant to change. They think that their way is the only way and the best way. So I see them being unwilling. I see them feeling that they do not need to participate in the therapy, therefore they won't participate in therapy. I feel that they'll be in denial if they do participate, feeling like they're not the problem, feeling like this isn't, worth their time, feeling like it might be a waste of time. And another barrier I see is lying. Everybody in this family has secrets. Everyone in this family lies to each other. And, so I don't believe that within therapy that they will be open, honest, and truthful with each other. And if they don't do that, then it's kind of hard to create bonds again and to create a trusting environment. So those are some of the key barriers that I see when dealing with this family. Lastly are some local and national resources that I found. Some national hotlines that could be called are 988. It's a suicide and crisis hotline, but it does offer substance support. The next place that someone with Spencer's conditions could call would be the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Hotline. That is 1-800-662-4357. Both of these hotlines are 24 hours. You can call them anytime. So these are definitely really good anonymous ways of getting help. The next thing would be some addiction recovery facilities I found. Now, all of these facilities are 24 hours, 7 days a week, so they're always open. You can always go there to get help. It is a minimum 3-day rehab, just like the rehab that Spencer visits in her show. So the first one is Miracle Recovery Center and Amethyst Recovery Center. Both of those are in Port St. Lucie. The New Horizons of the Treasure Coast has a few different facilities, but the main facility is in Fort Pierce off Midway Road. And that's the only 24-hour facility. The other ones are outpatient. And then support groups. You can go on the Bayshore Club website and they offer different times and days and a bunch of different groups. So it definitely would be beneficial to check out their website and then, join some of their groups as far as like NA for the pills like Spencer takes, or they offer Al-Anonymous, so like, you know, if her family wanted to go to therapy or a support group with other people who have addicts struggling in their families, then that would be a great place for them as well. So, all right, that's it. Thank